Hello, sports fans, and welcome to the 4th edition of our Eastland County Today Coaches Show. First, I want to take this opportunity to thank Amy and John Glenn for effectively stepping in for me last week while I was out of town. They did a superb job. This week saw the Cisco Lobos enjoy their bye week. The Eastland Mavericks started quick and then ended quick against the Breckenridge Buckaroos. The Gorman Panthers are really liking six-man football with a 4th win. The Bulldogs continue to have struggles getting into the end zone, and the Rising Star Wildcats were 1 quarter away from a victory over the Gordon Longhorns. Let's get right to our Friday night action, shall we? The Cisco Lobos enjoyed the open week this past Friday. Time to heal and mend. Let's see what Coach West has to say. All right, Coach West, thanks for your time this Monday morning. You had the open week this past week, had some bumps and bruises that might have got a little bit of time to heal. Tell us about kind of just your goals, your expectations for the bye week, and were you able to meet those, get some guys rested as well?
Well, we had a good week, and it certainly came at a very, very good time. There has been years that the open week hit at a bad time. We were completely healthy and things were going great, but we needed this to heal up. We turned it into a little more of an off-season time, a little more weights, a little more conditioning, and we work on the little things. We worked on our passing game during the period and after school, just an area that we needed to catch up in, and obviously with Massey's shoulder, we hadn't been able to do much of that the last few weeks. So caught up in some areas, and hopefully it was a benefit. You
mentioned Massey's shoulder. It seemed to me against Comanche that he might have kind of stung it again or hurt it just a little bit more. Is that kind of right? Or
he did, and that's going to be probably an all year long thing. He's going to deal with that for several more weeks. The surface of that is still a little tender. We just can't tear it again, and that's something we've got to be very careful with. And Mason Reed struggled with that one of his years as a running back, and it plagued him all year long. And that's those type of injuries are hard to get over. But I really feel pretty good about Massey's shoulder right now. I feel like it's about 90%.
All right, Coach. This Friday night we start district with the Holiday Eagles. Give us your impressions of the Eagles and how they're going to challenge the Lobos this Friday evening.
Well, Frank has been running a spread offense. All those years he was a head coach at Colorado City, and then the last 2 at Holiday, and now he's running the wing T, which is different for him. He's still running his split 6 and a little 4-3 look on defense, but he's running wing T, and I mean old school wing T, that we hadn't seen in some years offensively. Very similar offense to Comanche. They have a different type of talent, probably quite a bit more speed than Comanche, and not quite the offensive line Comanche had, but still a little different. And they're going to have a good view of what Comanche did to hurt us, good video evidence to put together for this Friday's game.
Thanks, Coach West. The Lobos will take on the Holiday Eagles this Friday evening at Chesley Field in Cisco in their first district game of the year. Kickoff is at 7:30. All right, the Eastland Mavericks this last Friday defeated the Breckenridge Buckaroos by 10 in Breckenridge, 32-22. Brent Bailey had a nice evening, catching 6 balls for 83 yards and a touchdown. He also caught a key 4th down pass to keep a late drive alive. Josh Gosnell also had a good evening. He was 15 of 23 for 268 yards and 3 touchdowns. Let's see what Coach Watkins has to say. All right, Coach Watkins, thanks for your time this morning. First, let's talk about your game Friday night with the Buckaroos. You go up to Breckenridge. It's their homecoming. The Mavericks came out really hitting on all cylinders early and then kind of let the Buckaroos back in the game. In fact, they took the lead there, I think, early in the 4th quarter before your boys ended up scoring a couple of late TDs. Tell us your impressions offensively, defensively, how the team performed Friday evening.
Like I said, we came out fast and got a lead early and quick. We go down and score. We get them 3 and out. No, we get a turnover. and then we score the first play again. So about 3 minutes in the game, we're up 13-0, and then we get another stop and score again, go up 19-0, and so we've did the same thing against Clyde. We go up 14-0 against Clyde, and then let them back in the game. So we've done a good job of starting the game fast, and we've done a great job of finding a way to finish. We've got to concentrate on putting 48 minutes together and playing that second and third quarter just like we do the first and the fourth, and then hopefully we won't get to these barn burners at the end. But overall, we were pleased with the film. Defensively, we knew playing that flex bone, midline veer offense, we were going to be very disciplined and do what we were coached to do, and I felt like we did a good job of that. Got a lot of guys to the ball. Felt like we tackled a lot better than we did the week last time we were out. So a lot of good things. Still some, obviously, at this point in the season stuff we got to fix, but we were pleased with their effort.
Coach, you come away with the victory, but you also have a couple of bum shoulders. Tell us a little bit about that, what happened there Friday night.
Banged up, hurt their shoulder, the AC joint, and so they'll be out this week and then be reevaluated and see. Go from there. Okay, Coach, thanks. Hey, it's homecoming here in Eastland, Texas this week, and you've got the Millsap Bulldogs. Tell us a little bit about Millsap and how they're going to challenge the Mavs this Friday evening. Yeah, Millsap's coming to town, and it's the biggest game of the year for us because it's our first district game. District game. We've got to take the field fast like we have been, but that's one thing we're going to concentrate on this week is playing 48 minutes and putting a full game together. We got to concentrate on us getting better this week, and Millsap's going to come to town, and they're going to be excited because it's their first district game as well. And so what's happened before this point doesn't really matter. Now is when it counts and the real games start, and we just got to come out and play good football. Hey, thanks, Coach Watkins. The Mavericks will take on the Millsap Bulldogs at Maverick Stadium this Friday at 7:30 p.m. It is homecoming in Eastland for the Mavericks. Let's now go down to Gorman. Gorman remains undefeated with a close win over Stephenville Faith this last Friday evening by the score of 53-50. Flavio Herrera of the Panthers scored several touchdowns, helping the Panthers come from behind. They were 10 points down in the middle of the fourth quarter. Let's see what Coach Williamson had to say. All right, Coach Williamson, thanks for your time this Monday morning. Let's first talk about the shootout that happened Friday evening in Bluffdale against you and Stephenville Faith. Well, what a game. You were down about 10 points, you said, and then were able to come back in the last minute play and score the winning score. Give us your impression of how the Panthers played Friday evening.
Well, I can't say we came out flat. We scored 3 quick touchdowns there in the first quarter. We struggled to make our extra points, and then we did go flat. We struggled offensively. Defense played, I believe, played really well. Considering that Stephenville Faith put up some points. They run a spread offense, and with the spread offense, usually the teams are going to put up some points. And spread in six-man football is hard to defend because there's so much open spaces out on the field. But Coach Garrett and Coach Guthrie did a great job, containing what we contained, during the game. Stephenville Faith's quarterback is he's about 6'2", about 190, and he's hard to bring down. Times that we had him, he was still able to get the ball off, and it's when you have those wide open spaces, it's hard to rally to make the tackle. And boys stepped up when we needed to step up toward the end of the game, got a good defensive stand, and offense was able to start rolling again in the fourth quarter. I believe we scored 29 points in the fourth quarter, and we did score the last touchdown with 26 seconds left to go ahead, and defense came in and stopped them the last 26 seconds of the game and came home with the victory. So.
All right, Coach, this week you have perennial power Strawn. Coach Lee always has his boys ready. Tell us a little bit about how the Greyhounds are going to challenge you this Friday evening.
Once again, Coach Lee does a great job over at Strawn. He's got a great winning tradition over there, and the boys are going to be prepared. They're going to be ready. Offensively, Strawn does a great job. They run spread formation. They spread the field out, and their spread back does a great job of finding an open receiver. And when he's got the running lanes, he's going to run, and it's going to be difficult to defend. Defensively, Strong does a great job. They rally to the football, and it's going to be a tough challenge. It's going to be a tough challenge for us.
Thanks, Coach Williamson. The Panthers will take on the perennial powerhouse Strong Greyhounds this Friday evening in Gorman. Kickoff is at 7:30. All right, let's go over to Ranger, where the Bulldogs traveled to Erie County this past Friday evening and lost to the Hornets 35-6. Quarterback Jeffrey Beatty rushed for over 100 yards and scored the only touchdown for Ranger. Let's see what Coach Ramsey had to say.
All right, I'm here with Coach Ramsey. Coach Ramsey, thanks for your time this Monday morning. Give us your impressions of what you saw from the sideline Friday evening versus Erie County. We've talked about it earlier. You kind of took it on the chin a little bit from the Hornets. Defense played well. Give us your impressions of the game from Friday night.
They are very explosive. They're fast. They, like I said, we come in the ball game with them. They was averaging over 52 points a game. They're very explosive. They move the ball well. They're very fast. They changed it up a lot. They run the football good. They throw the football fairly well. And we knew we was going to have our work cut out for us. And, we held them to 35 points. And almost was able to hold them to 28 points. We kind of, had a missed breakdown after a turnover. And they got a big play right after that late in the fourth quarter. And got that extra touchdown. But I think our kids played well defensively, better than we've been playing. Offensively, we couldn't really get anything going. And we've got to go back to the drawing board a little bit with our O-line. They're struggling a little bit. We're young, super young on the O-line. There's not a senior one on our offensive line. And, good thing is we'll have everybody back next year. That'd make us better. With only 2 seniors, only one starting on offense and both starting on defense. So, having a bunch of kids come back next year is great, but that doesn't help us right now. So, Erie County is a good football team, and we didn't play as well as we'd like to, but our defense did play better, and now we need our offense to start playing a little better as well.
All right, Coach. This week's opponent is another JV team. It's the Eastland Mavericks JV team. I believe that's the black boys there in the black team there in Eastland, and you play them Thursday evening. You mentioned you've seen them on film. How are the Mavericks JV team going to challenge you this Thursday evening?
Well, Eastland's they're one of those schools. They know how to win. Their kids give great effort. And that's something that we're wanting in our program. We're wanting our kids to learn to win, expect to win, to give that effort to win, and just watching these young guys, this JV team play, they expect to win. They work hard. They get after you. Their quarterback and their running back are very fast. They're very athletic, and they're as good as any Friday night kids that we play. Those guys really get after it. So our job is going to try to contain those 2 guys, and we know they throw the ball fairly well, and they run the ball well. We're going to have our hands full. Those guys are going to play hard. They're going to get after us, and they expect to win. And we'll have a ball game. There's no doubt.
Thanks, Coach Ramsey. The Ranger Bulldogs will take on the Eastland Mavericks JV Black team this Thursday evening in Ranger. Kickoff is at 7:30. Again, that's this Thursday. Our last stop is in Rising Star, where the Wildcats put up a good fight against the rated Gordon Longhorns. They were down 6 with just minutes left to play in the fourth quarter before it got away. The Horns won 42-28. Ben Boucher threw for 192 yards and 3 touchdowns. Crispin Froese caught 4 passes for 103 yards and a touchdown. Let's see what Coach Callaway had to say.
All right, Coach Callaway, thanks for your time this Monday morning. Good game Friday evening against the Gordon Longhorns. Came out a little on the short end there late in the fourth quarter. Played well the whole game. Give us your impression of what you saw from the sideline against the Gordon Longhorns.
Well, I saw our team want to win a game. I mean, they really, really wanted to win that game, and we really put a lot into that game. And to go out and play the way we did, we're very proud of that. The kids came out and executed well. made some mistakes. I mean, but that happens, in these games. It's a game of mistakes. We had 2 interceptions, turned them right back over. We didn't get the momentum swings off them we wanted, but the kids played well, and they played hard for 4 quarters. With a minute left, I think it was a 6-point game, and we kicked the onside. They recovered it, and then we kind of had to sell out on defense, gave up a late score, and less than a minute left. Makes the game look a little bit worse than it really was. It was really a 6-point game. That ended up being a 14-point game. But we played hard, and the kids executed well, and I'm proud of the kids for their performance on Friday.
Coach, this week you have an away game. I believe you go to Cherokee to take on the Indians. What do you know about Cherokee, and how will they challenge your Wildcats this Friday evening?
Well, they got a new coach this year, and so I don't know a lot about him. All I know is what I've seen on film, but they do some things on film. They run a little bit of looks like a read offense where they pitch it back, try to read the ends and hand off or pull it or pass it. I mean, so it's going to take us some discipline on defense for sure to make plays. I think we can play really well this week. Offensively, looks like a good week for us. I was just watching them against Stephenville Faith and stuff. They do some things that I think we can take advantage of with our offense. But the biggest thing is we got to keep playing at the level we're at right now. I don't think Cherokee's a Gordon or a Robert Lee like we've seen the past 2 weeks, but we can't let our guard down because they're not. And so we got to go out and we got to play at the same level we have the past 2 weeks, control the ball, and just make sure we don't turn the ball over. And I think we'll have a good week.
Coach, you mentioned you're going to try to play a JV game this week. Tell us a little bit about that. And I guess you haven't really been able to play yet a JV schedule. Tell us a little bit about what your plans are there.
Well, it's going to cut our roster down. We got 16 kids in pads right now. It's going to put us down. I think we're going to end up going with 9 on Friday and 7 on Thursday. We're going to go to Zephyr and play their JV group. And the biggest thing is to get these young guys reps, because I have a lot of seniors on my team, so next year these are the guys that are going to have to play a lot of reps next year on Friday nights. So I want to get a lot of reps in for them this year. Hopefully we can continue to play that JV schedule, stay healthy enough to play it the rest of the season. But this is just going to be a good opportunity for those kids to get out there and pad up and go against some guys. It's hard to get them in on Friday nights. It's nothing other than preparation. I want to be prepared for Friday nights, and this is going to give them that opportunity to get ready for Friday nights.
Thanks, Coach Callaway. The Rising Star Wildcats will face off against the Cherokee Indians this Friday in Cherokee at 7:30 p.m. In other Eastland County sports news, let's talk a little bit about volleyball. Both Gorman and Ranger have begun their district schedules. Eastland will begin theirs in a couple of weeks. Ranger College has won their first 2 conference matchups. Cisco College lost their conference opener to Vernon last Tuesday. In soccer news, the Cisco Lady Wranglers, are 1-0-1 after tying Hill College this past week 1-1. Lady Rangers are 1-1 in conference play, while the men have lost 1 and tied 1. Cross country has also begun in Eastland County. Cisco High School participated in the Lubbock Invitational this past Saturday. Eastland High School ran in the Glen Rose Invitational last Wednesday. Eastland has just a boys varsity team, while Cisco has a boys and a girls varsity team. The Ranger College also has cross country. The men's team won the team competition this past Friday in the Cowboy Classic in Abilene. The ladies came in 5th in that same invitational. For more details, for summaries, for pictures of all our fall sports, please pick up the Eastland County Today this Thursday from your local newsstand. This has been Stephen Forrester, your ECT editor. Make sure you make some wonderful memories this weekend. God bless you. Have a good week.